We know that online dating is hard. We know it can be challenging. So, what could we do better? Well, one of the things that I really think people need to embrace, or at least have an awareness of, and some skill and strategy in using, is hearting a message. Hearting a message is essentially like social media. On Facebook, you like a post, you give it a like. On Instagram, you like something, you give it a heart, right? So, on Tinder, if you like something that somebody wrote you, you can heart it. And guess what? It has the same effect of saying, I like this, I appreciate this, and at a subconscious level, you're kind of training them to know what you like and give you more of it. All right, so that's kind of the concept of if you give them that positive reinforcement of that like, they want to give you more of that. Now that can be truly impactful because that can shape the communication. One, it can encourage engagement. So if you heard something, then someone's like, "Oh, that really hit home," or they appreciated that, and they're going to be more amped up to communicate with you in a more consistent manner, give you more volume, right? Now, also, it might be the tone of the conversation, the way you guys are interacting. You might really appreciate that, so you might heart something that they wrote because you want to encourage the tone, and the tone might be super supportive. Maybe they said something super supportive to you. You might want to heart that. Maybe they said something that was super insightful, or you want to heart that. Maybe they said something that was a compliment, and you want to be like, yeah, that's okay by me. So the tone would be like, hey, I'm all about it. If you want to give me a compliment and let me know where I stand and give me an idea of like, geez, this person likes me. You're okay with that. Like it's always good to know that somebody's direct, really into you. They're direct about it, they're overt about it. You have evidence that they like you. So you could give that a heart and welcome, like, hey, it's fine by me if you want to give me overt compliments. Works for me. Now also imagine someone you're kind of interested in gives you something like a sexual comment. Maybe that's a topic or a tone that you want to encourage. Like it. It's not very creepy. Like you're not going overboard. You're not giving any sort of inappropriate response. A simple heart. Again, if it's a sexual comment and you like it, and you want things to continue down that route, or you think that it's okay by me if you talk about like that or talk like that, heart it. Okay, that's one element or one way that we can use the heart message. Now, something else that I want you to understand, another use for hearting a message, is that it allows you to bump yourself on Tinder. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. We're all, there are all sorts of forums online, and if you comment on something or if you like it, you bump the post. So that brings it more to the top of the feed, and that makes people see it more. Well, on Tinder, imagine you gave somebody a response and you sent them a Tinder response. Well, what happens? Well, as you and I know, they would get a notification on their phone because most people have notifications on their phone sent to receive them from Tinder when they get a new message, right? You do, I do, most people do. Now, that means that they've got a message that they probably will see. Probably seeing doesn't mean that they will probably respond because as you know, you and I and everyone else gets busy. We forget about things. We have good intentions and then we don't follow through with maintaining conversations. We've all done it. It doesn't mean that we don't like somebody. Sometimes it does. Or we've lost some interest, but sometimes we just gotten busy. Sometimes we've been forgetful. Sometimes things have come up and we meant to do it. We never got to it. So we've gotten that initial message that or notification that we've got a message, but it wasn't enough to get them to message us back, at least not yet. So here's the thing. What's something that we can do to get their attention? Heart a message. What you hopefully have is something within, like your screenshot, your current screenshot of your last message. So maybe a few lines up, you have to go through there. You can find something that you really like, or something that is close enough to being something that you could really like, and you can heart it. And what that does is that gives them a notification. Someone liked or hearted your message, and they'll see that. And that might just be the reminder that they needed of who you are. And oh yeah, remember that conversation? Oh, I was supposed to message that person back, and I never did. Oops. Or you might just give somebody that notification, and they're feeling like, well, fuck, I'm bored. Sure, let's check it out. What's going on here again? You never know. And I'll tell it to you like this: what do you have to lose? Some people are gonna be like, "Well, they didn't message me. They didn't respond to my first message, so fuck that. I'm high value." Okay, well, you're also not getting a message. So let me ask you, what do you have to lose by hitting one button, like, or and putting that heart on a message? How much did that hurt? How much did that make you present yourself as being so vulnerable and so weak? Not very. The truth is, most people aren't going to be like, oh my God, I haven't responded to them and they hearted a message. They're not going to be like, what a loser, what a needy person. They're just going to be like, oh, I have a notification from Tinder. Let's check it out. That's the extent of what most people are thinking. Maybe you are worried about the anomalies, the exceptions out there, but that's really not the smart gameplay. The smart gameplay is to play to the masses. And when you have so little to lose from hearting a message, even if you could, I don't give a fuck, you could even heart a message a little further up. Maybe not at the very beginning, but you could heart a message and it's still a better play than not doing anything. All right. Certainly not doing anything can make you feel good, like, oh, I'm such a strong man, such a strong woman, and I don't take any shit and I don't message anybody twice. But that also leaves you without someone messaging you. So is that really the biggest win? I think this is a fairly risk-free maneuver strategy that doesn't make you look bad, and even if it did make you look bad, if you were to able to reignite a conversation with somebody, it's something that you could very easily kind of overcome. Because if you had great conversation, the story that they would be telling themselves is like, "Oh my God, this person used a heart, and that's how I restarted the conversation with them." What a weirdo! They're not gonna be thinking that if they're in a conversation with you, they're thinking that you're cool. They appreciate the conversation, and they're gonna be making up a story about you, like, "Oh, so glad this person kind of grabbed my attention again. I forgot about that. So glad." That's their story. All right. Ultimately, it really is about whatever story people have about you. So whether they consider you lame or needy or a weirdo or super cool and can do no wrong. And if someone's communicating with you, if you get a response from somebody after you send a heart, do you think that in their mental wiring, they're connecting with a loser, a weirdo, a needy person? Not at all, because they wouldn't do that. So if they're connecting with you, their mental wiring is set up to be like, oh, this person is cool. This person is all right by me. I like this person. Why do I like this person? Well, I don't. you might not even know why you like somebody, but if you're messaging somebody, you're telling yourself this is a good person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be messaging them. That's the mental wiring. That's the subconscious message that you have for yourself. Okay, so I want you to understand, hearting a message on Tinder, it's a great way to reward a topic or a tone. And it's a great way to bump a conversation again. Give yourself another chance to get noticed without having to message again. I think that's a pretty good deal. And it's something that I employ, something that I teach and recommend. And I recommend it also for you. If you have thoughts, it's hard to win at the online dating game when you haven't been taught the foundational lessons that impact your experiences and success. So let's change that. Click here to watch all 8 videos from our Online Dating 101 playlist, and click below to visit onlinedatingdynamics.com to take advantage of free dating and online dating resources and to learn more about our online dating game strategy guide.